A blessed evening to all of you, dear friends, and also to those who are with us through this live streaming. I would like to focus once again this reflection on the first reading. We've been reading from this beautiful letter, important letter of James, one of the New Testament letters written by James. And in the previous readings, we have seen, among other themes, is the issue of faith and its relation to good works. He insists, for example, that true faith has to be expressed in concrete, in good works. Because if faith ends in just professing that we believe in Jesus Christ as Lord, etc., etc., according to James, that is just one half. The second half is that it has to be expressed in good works and must bear good fruit. Today, another important and favorite topic of theme of St. James is the issue of wisdom. Now, part of the tradition of the Bible is called wisdom, and it is a gift now that especially in the East, tradition of the East, that the important persons, revered persons, are those wise persons, meaning persons full of wisdom. But of course, wisdom is differently understood by different people. Like, wisdom is, like for example, they considered King Solomon as a king full of wisdom, who has knowledge and has the capacity to make good judgment, etc. A kind of an insight, wisdom as a kind of insight into life and ways of dealing with issues, with problems. So many definitions we find of wisdom. But here, he would, St. James would clarify what would be wisdom for him. Now, one of the virtues, or rather the qualities that men and women of God try to find, to live according to the wisdom of God. And being wise, according to St. James, meaning who has the understanding of things, is not something only like intellectual thing, that you have an insight like the or something that is academic, or something that is connected with something that an insight into the problems. It is part, but rather he says that true wisdom, according to St. James, is it has to be translated into work, into action of good life, he said. So again, we see his concern is in the practical. Just as faith is tested, is seen, is proven in the concrete, so also wisdom, true knowledge of God, of His virtues, of His ways, must be translated into work, into action of by good life, he said, and in humility. He would add here that this wisdom has to be expressed in action and also in humility. And he would put the opposite of this, and that is, he would say, the opposite of wisdom, according to him, would be expressed, is seen, the lack of wisdom, in jealousy, bitter jealousy, selfish ambition in the heart, boastfulness, untruthfulness. This is not true wisdom, according to him. This is earthly, unspiritual, and he would call it even demonic. So wisdom, the true knowledge of a believer, has to be translated into action, work that is good, and it is done in the spirit of humility. Another point, manifestation of wisdom, according to him, is manifested in the capacity and the ability to relate and to live with others well, without jealousy, without selfish ambition. No. And this is the wisdom that comes from above, that is pure, that creates peace, gentle, compliant, full of mercy, produces good fruits, constancy, sincerity. The fruit of this is the great peace that one experiences if one lives according to this true wisdom that comes from above. Now, very practical. Now, that faith, wisdom, relationship with God can be tested according to him in the practical level. I think very, very timely this reminder from St. James for all of us. No? As we live our life, as we discern what to espouse, what to follow, it is important that these things, that we see them not only from a perspective of that which is not only that is beautiful in terms of thought, program, etc., but it has to be tested in the concrete. No. Just as they would say, anong mapapala mo dun sa sasabihin sa'yo, I love you, with all those beautiful poems, pero binubugbog mo naman yung misis mo, o yung hindi mo naman, you do not take care of them. That's foolishness, they would say. Just as we can mouth beautiful programs and projects for the country or whatever, track record, zero. I think this is a very important guide for our decision making, in judging ourselves, and also the things that we need to look critically in our lives. Now, check these proposals, these programs, these things that come to us, and check them if they are realistic, workable, and ultimately for the good of all, and not only just for the sake of throwing these things, mouthing these things. We ask the Lord that He who did not love us only in words, but in deed, in concrete, by giving His life in concrete, in the sacrifice of the cross, which we celebrate in the Eucharist. May our life, our commitment, the quality of our Christian life be also tested and proven in our commitment in doing what is good every day. Amen.